am Sarah. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sarah from simplysteameducation.com. I have been teaching since 2012, and I began coaching STEM in 2013, and I was the only K-2 STEM teacher or STEM coach in the state of North Carolina. Um, for 4 years in 2013. So, a little bit about me. So I want to talk to you guys today a little bit about, I'm going to give you a pep talk, okay? And it's something that is from my heart and something I came to I had a realization moment last night, okay? And so yesterday we knew that the storm was coming, and anytime being here, like, I feel like we get storms every single year. So I woke up knowing that we were going to have a storm, and when you wake up, there's a little bit of excitement. There's also some uncertainty that goes with that, and we prepared by putting everything in the garage. We put all of our patio furniture in the garage. We put all of our plants and all that kind of stuff in the garage. Then we had our neighbors. They were going on vacation, so we actually dog sat for them. And you could tell that there was some uncertainty with the dog as well, because he would pace back and forth, and I tried to like wear him out so that he would be sleepy. So I took him on a bike ride. I played fetch with him in the backyard, and I was throwing the ball, and I was the one fetching. So it didn't really work. And then Logan, my son, he was also very afraid about the storms. So he wanted to sleep with us. And of course, I was like, yeah, buddy, you can sleep with us. But I had to pretend. And I was like, it is not going to be that big of a deal. It is just a small little storm, and everything's going to be fine. Well, we finally went to bed at about 11 o'clock, and I woke up at about 1:30 because the rain was blasting my window. It was coming like horizontally into my window, smacking it, and I swear it sounded like somebody was on my window banging, and I got scared. And I was trying to tell myself, hey, it's okay, like everything's fine. So I kind of like dozed off and went back to sleep. So I put my arm up like this, and we don't have a headboard or anything in our house. So my arm was on the wall as I'm sleeping, and I'm just like finally asleep. And then about 2:15ish, it felt like the whole wall was moving. And it freaked me out so bad that I woke up and I was like panicking. My heart was racing, and I just needed to calm down. But in that moment, I didn't know what to do. What are some of the things that you do to calm down? Let us know in the comments below. What I ended up doing is I got up, and I paced for a few minutes, walked around, and I ended up going into Logan's bed, and I put on some nice bedtime music, and then I left his door open because I wanted to just make sure that my kids were okay. If they were to come outside, I wanted to make sure that they were okay. The reason why I went into Logan's room is because our bedroom, we're on the east eye of the hurricane, which is the worst part to be on. And so that wind was coming directly towards my window. And so I went into Logan's room because his bedroom's on the side, so it wasn't hitting right there. So it definitely did not sound as bad in his bedroom, and it was really nice. So I finally went to sleep, and then it was about 7:30, and I woke up because the dog started barking that we were dog sitting, and he didn't get very much sleep last night, but he wanted to go outside because he wanted to pee. So my husband took him outside, and I walked around the yard to just check to make sure that everything was okay. And I'm not gonna lie, I had some anxiety and I'll tell you why in just a minute, or the yard, and check the fence, everything was fine. Check the siding, everything was fine. Check the shingles, everything was fine. Y'all, God is so good. I couldn't believe it. I moved all the patio furniture back. And then once I took care of myself, I started looking around our neighborhood and noticing that our house was the only house that was not affected in this neighborhood. There are so many people who've lost their fences, there's siding on their home, some trees. I'm just so grateful. And then I got on my phone and I started checking my phone to check on my friends and stuff and make sure that that everyone was doing okay. And what I noticed is that every person is going through something different. And right now, everyone around me is going through something different. Our neighborhood, we were so fortunate to have electricity, but just down the street, like not even 4 miles down the street, they have no electricity. We were very fortunate to not have any trees gone. But one of my friends texted me this morning and said they had 100-year-old trees all over their yard that have been destroyed. Our siding is completely intact, but the neighbor down the street, her siding is completely gone on the side of her house. I tell you this, I give you these examples about this storm because COVID-19 and distance learning and everything that we're going through is exactly like this. Everybody's going through something different. There's 3 responses that people are going to go through. One of them is that COVID-19 is not going to affect them mentally. They're just going to keep going around doing the same things that they've always done. They're not worried about it whatsoever because for whatever reason, they feel fine. And that's okay. It's their choice. There are other people who are very concerned because they have health issues or they have family members with health issues. And that's fine too. It's okay to be worried. Some people, they're responding because they've already had their life affected by COVID-19. They know what's at stake. And that's fine too. Hit that heart button if you agree that all of these responses are the same for our students. This isn't just for adults, this is for students too. Here's the thing, they didn't get to have that end of year party. They didn't get to say goodbye to their friends or get their yearbook signed. They didn't get to do any of that. They haven't been able to see their friends regularly from a Monday to Friday since March 16th. They haven't been able to go to a regular church setting. And believe it or not, for some kids, that's really important to them. It's for spiritually. So this may or may not be your first storm, or it may be one of many. For me, this is one of many, COVID-19. I'm referring to COVID-19. So in 2018, we had Hurricane Florence that came through here. It was at the beginning of the school year, right as soon as I started to get to know my kids. And suddenly, we were in a brand new school, brand new, so excited to open it. And then suddenly, our school year gets shut down. We missed 6 weeks of school. We didn't get to go back until the end of October. And what made it worse is that many of our families, my families in my classroom, they were displaced. I didn't get to say goodbye to those kids because they had to move somewhere else. They didn't have a home. Guys, it could be so much worse than what it is right now. Yeah, our house had damage in 2018. The garage, the roof fell through in the garage and it flooded in there. our fence was completely knocked over, and the house inside my bedroom leaked. So we had a lot going on. But I will tell you one thing, going to school is what kept my mind off of the worry. Being able to teach, being able to see my students, I knew that they looked up to me and that they wanted to have some normalcy in their life. I took pride in that. I took pride in knowing that my students' families were depending on me to educate their children, but also make them feel safe, because we had all just gone through a traumatic experience. I took pride in that. And right now we have kids who are going through a traumatic experience. And I take pride knowing that as an educator, as their teacher, they're looking up to us. And I know what you may be thinking, okay? You may be worried that you don't know what you're doing. Well, guess what? Join the club, because no one else knows what we're doing. It is all our first year. You may also be worried that you are going to be sick. But here's the thing. You are your own best advocate. You know what is best for you. You know what is best for your classroom. So give yourself some grace and do your best to keep yourself healthy. You might be afraid that you're going to get other people sick. But you know what? You might. But you've got to remember that it is their choice to be there at the school. They have a choice. This is America. It's a free country. They could be at school if they wanted to, or they don't have to be. And that's okay. Turn your attention to your students. Their lives have been turned upside down. They've had little accountability right now. And I know that from experience, because I've been working from home too. And my kids, they didn't have a lot of accountability for me. And I'm a teacher. That's because I was so focused on my own students. They're looking for guidance right now. Kids are craving positive examples of leadership. And that comes from you. Be that person. Go to school. Make those mistakes. Show them that it's okay if you don't know what the heck you're doing, because we don't need to be perfect. Because if we were, then we'd be called Jesus, but you're not. So model that growth mindset more than anything this year. This is a perfect opportunity for you to model that growth mindset. Most importantly, I just want you to know that you've got this. I believe in you. I support you. I'm cheering you on. And I want to say thank you for being a teacher. Also, just want to say thank you again for everything that you do. You got this. I'm here for you. I will see you next week. Bye.